Welcome to In the Studio, where we talk all things art with the artists who live it. Today, I'm speaking with multidimensional artist JosephBrandon, sculptor, painter, and educator at Otis College of Art and Design. We dive into his creative journey, his teaching practice, and how it all began. Welcome to In the Studio. I'm here with multidisciplinary artist JosephBrandon, and we are here in his gallery space. I know creative spaces are very sacred to artists, so thank you for having me in your space.
You're welcome. Thank you for allowing me to do this. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so I want to start off with your roots as an artist.
I became a professional artist when I was 12 years old, meaning that I got paid to create some art. She paid me and gave me a scholarship to go to the New Orleans Museum of Art for a summer. I was like 12 years old.
Oh my God.
I got addicted to that feeling. I was like, hold up, like you want me to draw this on a canvas and you gonna pay me for it? Me going to the New Orleans Museum of Art for that summer camp was the first time that I saw other people express themselves. From that point on, I just became curious about, the different mediums that you can use to express yourself.
So that camp was the catalyst.
Yeah, it was one of them. The main thing for me that introduced me to art, kind of like sparked my imagination, was playing with toys. I had He-Man and I had Taylor, and I used to make him do everything that the cartoon did. And after the cartoon going off, I just felt this overwhelming voice say, like, do this, do that. It was like another me was born almost.
So it was kind of like an inner creative higher self that was telling you.
Very much. People always ask, like, how you doing? That's like one of the worst questions for me, because if I could really tell you, it might take like an hour or two. But if I show you a painting, you'll like understand it.
Art really has a way of superseding language. It's the easiest way to express yourself, to explain yourself.
I tell people I'm a visual artist because I can show you better than I can tell you. And that's like my motto. And that's why I kind of do different mediums, because this medium might not be the best way to express how I'm feeling or the point I'm trying to make. Me being a polymath is trying to find ways to communicate with so many different audiences.
Okay, so explain the term polymath for people that don't know it, because I'm just learning this.
Polymath is what they used to call artists or engineers, people that organize so many different aspects of society on like a metaphysical level. Michelangelo, Aristotle, those people were considered polymaths, and they're just people that have a wide range of learning or knowing. That's how I like to think of myself, as a polymath, because when I'm doing one thing, I'm actually thinking about the next 2 or 3 things, and I'm like, it's on autopilot, like I'm not even much thinking about it.
So that's how I am, but I thought it was just ADD.
Nah, they call it ADD.
Maybe I'm a polymath.
Yeah, hey, that's why I think you are.
That's how I work, where I'm like, oh my God, this body of work is great, and I'm like working on it, and then it's like a month goes by and I have like 5 pieces that I'm like trying to finish.
Right.
And then in my head, I'm like, oh man, like this is a genius idea, and I'm literally off on the next while I'm trying to finish it up a previous show. So in my head, I'm like, man, Penda. Extreme ADD, but I'm gonna be like extreme polymath.
That's the only way you can get sometimes working on, like for me, working on this, it helps me figure out that other problem. I've been around people my whole career, trying to get me to do like one specific thing so I can be successful in it, in society's eyes. But getting people to understand what I'm trying to say is success to me.
So communication is big for you. It's like one of the driving forces behind why you create.
Very much. Communication and storytelling is something that I wish to master.
You do with your characters, though. I was kind of laughing to myself when we set up, because I almost was like, oh yeah, turn the sculpture around so it's facing forward. And then I was like, no, the sculpture is facing this way.
That's right.
For a reason, for a purpose.
That's right.
And you've explained this to me before, so I know it. It made me think about what the piece was about and the meaning behind it facing backwards.
Right.
Just all in a second, and I was like,
see, that's what I'm saying. See that
good.
conversation you had? It was like a 1-minute conversation, but you went through like 2 or 3 minutes worth of dialogue, like that.
Even with this sculpture, right? Like it looks like he must be really sad and depressed and crying, but you turn it around and he's smiling. Right?
That's right. And that's that experience that I want you to have.
I remember you saying when you were younger, you would do these sketches and you would be sketching little Joe.
Figuring out the process of drawing, it kind of led me to how to create something that people can resonate with. The Ninja Turtles, Bart Simpson, a lot of that stuff influenced me wanting to make a character, but I wanted something that resonated with the people that look like me.
Mhm.
You know, early on I was getting a lot of like, oh, that's the Boondocks character. And I was like, nah, like this was before Boondocks, you know.
Ahead of your time.
I'm just
That's how artists are. We're
That's
really
it.
ahead of our
Yeah.
time in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. And I feel like, man, it can be so frustrating sometimes. People don't get it yet. And it's
Yeah.
like, then years later they get it.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
that's
all
the-
right, I'm on to the next now.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Exactly, but like you said, that's the best way to explain it. All I can tell you is I'm ahead of my time, and I've said that sometimes, and it sounds like I'm being arrogant and all that, but it's not. It's the best way to explain what you're trying to say. Like, I could clearly see the path of where this work is going at, and I have to spend all this time explaining it to you for you to give me an opportunity. And you know, at that point, you're like, I don't much know if I want the opportunity. I'm going to do something else because this is getting out of control.
And that comes into working with whoever you're working with as an artist, agent, gallery,
Right.
whatever it is. It is so important that they get it and they align with your work and are
That's right.
really down to carry on that
That's right.
story.
I always tell people, if you're around people that's not supporting what you're doing, it's not gonna get done.
If it's not in alignment with somebody, then it's like they're in your way.
That's
They're in
it.
the way of the work.
That
It
you
just is
see,
what
you
it
said
is.
it. I tell people, look, you're gonna get ran over. You know, I might come back when I get to my destination. I might come back and check on you, but I gotta keep
You
moving.
got to be aligned in the moment with me,
Yeah,
not after you see that
that's right.
somebody's noticing it.
Right. When I decided to do sculpture, I wanted to go to a toy design school because I wanted to make sculptures that looked like toys, but I wanted to make it bigger than I was. I didn't see none of that in the world.
After you graduated, you
Mhm.
worked in your field in kind of like the corporate level.
Yeah.
Didn't like it. Like, this is the story that so many artists have. It's like we try to do that
Yeah.
corporate thing and we're just like, oh. So did you go straight from that into being a fine artist then?
I worked for about 3 months in the industry, in the toy design industry, and realized that I wouldn't be able to make the pieces that I wanted to make. And
Creative freedom. is-
yeah, it
is
was-
not there.
it just wasn't there for me. I've been a fine artist, I've been a professional artist since I was 12.
Yeah, so it wasn't an intimidating jump to you.
Nah, it wasn't.
You are also a teacher.
Yeah, Otis College of Art and Design.
I grew up, my parents are artists, and so of course all their friends are artists, because you know how that goes.
Yes.
And a lot of their friends were art professors also. They were
Oh.
artists and art professors. My parents were one of the ones that were not art professors. They were like full on, like
It was
in the art
full-time
studio.
artists.
Yeah, and so I'm curious, being an art professor, does that change your relationship with being an artist as well and kind of your art practice?
You got these people that you know, these young minds that look up to what you do, and you get to have like a deeper conversation about your work and with somebody that understands it. And I learn so much more from them. I tell them all the time, like, they teaching me. So for me, it means a lot. And when I have these young minds that I have to help mold, it humbles me. It really does. It's just a great experience.
Yeah, it sounds like it energizes your practice.
Yes.
And how long have you had this gallery space?
It's been a year now.
And so you have openings here for artists you mentor. That's one of the other things is you
Yes.
do a lot of mentoring. Nobody else but other artists will understand what it is to pour your soul out into a career and then have it on display for everybody to come and judge.
Yes.
And for whoever you're working with to make money off of.
Yes.
Nobody understands that like artists do. So
Right.
when we're able to come together in community and have these spaces for each other.
Right. And the only reason why I even started this space because I had a bad experience with a gallerist.
We've all had those experiences.
Yes, and it all comes down to communication at the end of the day. I want to create a space where the artist kind of had more control. One thing that most curators and people don't understand is that we have to see our work the way we see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and that's my goal is to put the work out the way the artist wants to see it.
Well, I'm so excited to come back for the exhibitions that are in this space.
Yes, yes, I definitely have you back.
When I'm looking at your work, your sculpture, there's just a light in the character. It's just so sweet and uplifting. And then your canvas paintings, it's like there's a whole nother story. And I remember when I went to your studio and was looking at the pieces, and you were saying, yeah, like it looks kind of dark. Like sometimes people are kind of like wondering what that's about.
This series is called Dark Stories of Light because in this series, I went through all these emotions. It's like at the same time, like I'm not my story. Like these are paintings about things that I went through, but that's not who I am. It's just what I went through. So it's like a book, you read it. That was a dope book. You put it down and you give it to somebody else.
That's interesting. That's awesome that you say that because that's true. Our experiences, the things we have gone through don't define us. It's not us as individuals. And a lot of time people will get stuck on like, that's my experience. That's me. That's part of who I am. You're like wrapped in that cloak and it's hard to like free yourself
It's
from
hard to let that go.
Like, that you can do that through art is very cool because it's a healing tool. It's like
that's right, because you put it down there and you actually get to see it.
Yeah.
And walk around it and see all these different perspectives, but that's not your story no more. So you get to actually tell a new story now.
Yeah.
So this piece is about planting ideas and then coming back to harvest them. Being from the South, I also lived in New Iberia, Louisiana, where they had a lot of sugarcane fields. They would, plant the crops and they had a certain time of year where they would, harvest them, and then they would, take the trash of the crop and they would, burn the whole fields again, purge the ground and get ready for the next harvest. And that's what this piece is about. It's about the same thing. Like in my mind, that's how I process things. Like I plant these ideas that I want to do and these experiences that I want to have. And when I, look back on the year and it's time to collect on those things that I said I want to do, some of them they didn't work out. Some of them I didn't get a chance to do. So I gotta kind of wipe the slate clean and move on to the next situation.
I see it as a rebirth. It makes me think of the tarot card death. Like if you don't know, you're like, oh my God, death. But it's just rebirth.
It's just rebirth.
It means rebirth.
Right.
Regeneration.
Exactly.
So where your kind of love and interest for character design and sculpture began, this is a big part of your art practice.
Yeah, that, starting from just going through life, I had a tough childhood. So me using a character, using Lil Joe is me, trying to connect. I feel if I can, touch that inner child in most people, then I can communicate with most people.
So Lil Joe is you.
Yes. He's loosely based off of me, and he's the first layer of emotion that I experienced. There's another character that I'm developing. His name is B. He's a little bit older. It's basically the person that Lil Joe look up to. He'll have different aspects of things that he want to communicate to the world.
So Gemini, like taking different aspects of yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm curious because I know a lot of artists I've talked to, me included, art is a great form of just meditation and therapy and self-discovery. And so I'm curious if there's like a healing aspect to the sculpture Lil Joe.
Very much. I mean, me, trying to heal myself, that's how I was able to be the artist and the person that I am today.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And there's something so spiritual about it because you'll go to therapy and a lot of the times it's like your inner child comes up and it's like your spirit naturally knew to go there.
Right.
And people see themselves in your sculptures too and see their inner child.
Right.
So it's almost like self-healing and then there's this healing for everybody else.
It is kind of like spiritual. All I'm doing is, meditating. All I'm doing is praying. All I'm doing is asking for, forgiveness. All I'm doing is looking for a higher light in what I'm doing, a higher purpose in what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's prayer in physical form.
That's right. I like that.
There we go.
The biggest painting that I've done so far is it's a 4x12 foot painting called 40 Acres, 4 Birds at 4:44 a.m.
Is there a significance for fours for you?
So for that piece, I was a chef and I worked at this restaurant and we did a job at this plantation. And just knowing that I'm going to a plantation got my head spinning a little bit. And on my way there, there's like half a mile of trees, oak trees, like before you get to the house. And on my way there, I see, it looked like a dragon flying. It's so weird. I was like, what the hell is, as I drive and I get closer, I realized it's peacocks. And, peacocks on a roof, peacocks in the trees. And I'm thinking to myself, I never seen a peacock fly. What is going on? They're like magic. So for me, I just was thinking about being on a plantation, cooking, and I'm around these birds that could actually fly, but they choose to stay here on this plantation, and I'm looking at some of the like similarities that as our ancestor had being enslaved and being able to possibly leave, but knowing the repercussions of doing that. This story just played out in my head for so long. But what made me think about the forest was I thought about the 40 acres thing. They wanted to give us 40 acres. We didn't want 40 acres. We deserved more than that. I wound up finishing the project at 4:44 a.m. It was 4 paintings. Like all the floors, like you said, just clicked.
I gotta look up 444, the angel number.
Yeah, and that's even another thing. I got screenshots in my phone when I seen 444.
Yeah, it's significant to you.
Yeah, these numbers, all this stuff, it just like I said, all this stuff just wound up clicking.
You have things talking through you. Art is so intuitive that
Man.
It's like,
yeah,
we're creating and then we're like, whoa,
yeah.
I just made that. Something else is taking
Something else is there.
So when I was in your studio, you were working on a painting and you were grappling with whether to use the chicken bones. I know you were hesitant because there's like a spiritual context to it, where you're from.
Yeah.
Did you finish that piece?
I didn't finish the piece, but I did do some recon. I talked to a friend of mine who's versed in that part of the spirituality of dealing with things that our ancestors might have used. I'm still doing some more research. It's aligned. Everything is aligning where it's supposed to go at. And it's probably going to be a sculpture.
Mm-hmm. Good idea to do the research. But I remember when you were talking about it, I was like, ooh, I hope he goes for it because your ancestors are coming to you and telling you to do this. There's something around that because you don't just think of putting these elements that are very highly spiritual, like ancestrally or culturally in a way. There's a meaning behind all of that.
There's a meaning behind it all.
And like you were saying, sometimes you finish a piece and you get the answers from the finish.
Yes. It's like anything when you turn your frequency on, like that's what I'm kind of doing with this piece. Being from New Orleans and understanding like, the voodoo culture, I want to make sure I do this the right way, and answer all the questions inside of me before I, bring them to, the audience.
One little note on voodoo, because I know a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions on like voodoo, and it's really just a culmination of religions and culture and traditions from different spiritual religions, cultures from Africa. Because, when we were brought over as slaves, they mixed us up on purpose.
Exactly.
And spiritually, voodoo was born from that in a sense. So it's not like there's a lot of thriller movies out and people are scared, but it's like
that's what they want us. They want us
power,
to be
but it's not something to be.
They want us to be scared of our past like that. And like you said, like all it was is just people. You got all these different tribes, speaking to each other, trying to communicate with each other. And what they did was they chose all the things that were similar, and that's how they communicated. And this is our, way of spiritually connecting with our past.
It says something about the strength of Black people in general, because it's like we were separated for a reason. They didn't want us to continue our religion. They didn't want us to be able to continue the language and speak to each other. And it's like we found the similarities in each other.
That's right.
Still, and we built something from that.
It's like metaphysics. It's like stuff. It can't be explained, but it's there.
Yeah. Whoever gets that bone piece is gonna have some good luck.
That's right. It's a privilege to be an artist. It really is.
Yeah. It's a full-time job to be connected with your higher self.
That's right. I just want to use all these different mediums, all these different ways of storytelling to just get to my higher self, and help people do the same.
I love that.